Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to the Enough Said podcast. We are in season 4. Guess what? Episode 21, guys. We've done 21 this time around. What's going on, everybody?
Wow, man. I think that's the most episodes we've done was 21.
When you do once a week, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That is true, man.
Godly. I mean,
what is going? I know, right? Right, man. What's going on, y'all?
Yo, what's going on? Yo, what we got? You driving in the car, man? Mike's at a pool tournament. Everybody's like running this week. What's going on, man?
It's called commitment. You know what I mean? Man. It's called commitment, man. That's keep it consistent. You know what I mean? We had a good season this season, you know?
Yeah. I see we got a couple of additional enough crew members in the back there. I can see that's pretty cool.
Oh, we got future crew members.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the one we hand the reins over, right?
There you go. That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, so let's do it this week. We're missing Mike, unfortunately, and he actually came up with his own intro this week. So let's read it. He says, "People say that his pool is nice. He almost didn't make the playoffs because he busted his ass on the ice. The boy fell, man. Yeah, he dropped pretty quick, man. You know, like.
All right. Is he all right?
He's all right. He said he landed on his arm pretty hard, though, man. It's brutal, man. It's the ice up here, man. It's nuts, man.
But that's the commitment because he still went to go play pool. That's the crazy.
I know, right? Yeah, he went to go play pool, so he went in there with a crutch.
So, right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, the last game, he said they were breaking his balls, so that's what he said. He was down a couple things, so we had to see what happens this time around. So, but we'll see Mike back next week. We miss him this week. Interesting. I'd like to get his take on the 49ers from last night. Just pulling that out. I'll tell you what, guys. Give the Packers credit, man. They did not back down, and give Jordan Love credit. That guy played the lights out, except for that last throw. He didn't have to throw that across his body on that down. He had time.
Throw the ball away. The ball away. And like the commentator said, throw the ball away and live for second down. I don't know what, but that's the youth. That's the youth.
I was about to say, that's the experience of in playoffs. So doesn't have that playoff experience. So he's learning. But let me know you want to talk about that game.
Yeah.
I'll give you my 2 cents about 49ers should have lost.
Well, they said he pulled a Brett Favre. He said he tried to do the Brett Favre there. They actually showed pictures of him, the same motion going across his body as Favre. So it's interesting. But man, hats off to the
Brett.
Packers.
Really appreciate it, Brett.
Yeah. Could you imagine though if the Packers would have beaten the number 1 and number 2 seed? Holy smoke, man. That would have been
Yeah, real. I thought, I knew the 49ers was going to win because, those number 1 seeds, you get that bye and then you got to get your feet because Baltimore stumbled out yesterday. So that's the way I see it. Yeah, the number 1 seed. Yeah, they start off slow and then we got it now.
Mm-hmm.
You might as well I'm looking at it right now. I'm predicting it right now. You might as well put San Fran in the Super Bowl. They got an easy route, what I mean, to get to the Super Bowl. I mean, Detroit and Tampa Bay. All right, come on.
Flip a coin.
Come on, man. Baker Mayfield, he can't win. Come on.
Oh man, come on, sir.
Oh man, Baker Mayfield.
Give him some love, man. Come on. Now.
Right.
All right.
Make Detroit Lions a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, Detroit. I don't see either of those teams. I think San Francisco, the only thing holding them back could be if Baltimore gets in the finals, but we'll get into that and see if Baltimore has enough to beat them. Though I don't know, man. It'll be interesting, nonetheless.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it because we know it's going to come up. I got the shirt on today, mostly because I'm cold, not because I wanted to wear it. I could not wear the Bradbury shirt today. Sorry, Mike. I just could not do it. Not after that performance, man.
Hey, man, just put a piece of black tape over that Eagles emblem, all right? Just put an X mark on there. You know what I'm saying? So,
I didn't know if Jermaine was huddled in a room like when he lost his fantasy football like this week, like going back and forth. You know what I mean?
No, it's not. It's not like that, man. It's not like that at all. I mean, I mean, listen, guys. I mean, from resources and the latest one, it looks like Nick is going to stay.
Yep.
Now saying that, we're going right in talking about what's going to happen with this team, and I'm just going to give you my 2 cents, and you guys can talk.
What up, Hef? Just give Hef a quick shout out here.
Yeah. What up, Hef, and all that.
What's up, Hef?
So listen, I don't want to keep Nick. Okay. I don't think it's going to be any improvement with him still being the HC. Me saying that, yeah, you could bring in an offensive coordinator, bring in a defensive coordinator, but look what has happened this season when we tried to try with the offensive defensive coordinator, and Philadelphia still did not run the ball like they were supposed to. Remember, Jermaine, we came up with that word. What the number 3 means? When the first year that Nick Sirianni, we said that he only ran the ball 3 times, right? And I told you the first year of the season, I didn't like Nick at all because of the way his play calling. And he didn't play call this, but he still runs that team. I think he still puts his play in there to say, hey, this is how the playbook is going to go. Brad Johnson on the offense and all that and everything. So hiring is, to me, keeping him under. He had 1 year contract, right? So I just don't think Philadelphia is going to show any kind of improvement next year. Yeah, me and Jermaine said give him a chance and stuff like that. But Jermaine, over the last 48 hours, I've really been thinking about it. I don't think Nick should. I want Nick gone. I do. I don't see any improvement next year with him staying under.
Yeah. You gotta look, Nick is the one that got us to the Super Bowl, and basically, I think it is a coordinator problem. Look how young with Dre. We talked about the young coordinators. I mean, Desai and the other guy is in their 30s and all that stuff. You need veteran coordinators.
Correct. I agree.
So with that being said, I mean, just like Steichen, when Steichen left, you know what I'm saying? When Steichen left, the offense just went sour. When Doug Peterson was here, you know what I mean? When Frank Wright left, what happened? You know what I'm saying? So it starts with the coordinators, and if you got good coordinators, I mean, it's going to make the head coach look. It's going to make the head coach look good. At the same time, I think Howie and Jeffrey, just listening to on the radio, and I think what's going on and what's right and all that stuff, Howie and Jeffrey, they're the ones I think are controlling the situation as far as throw the ball downfield. They don't want to run the ball, especially Jeffrey. Jeffrey wants that heave-ho, you know what I mean, big bombs, you know what I mean, that big play offense and all that stuff. So it's all going by what Nick is saying. It's just I think it's almost just like the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they seem like, they bring in these puppet, they bring in these puppet coaches. You know what I mean? It's like, do as we say. Well, you're the coach and all that stuff. So yeah, but we still do as we say. Throw the ball. That's why Doug Peterson left. Doug Peterson didn't have control of his coordinators and stuff, and that's why he was going. But with Nick, I think it's the same way. I think they're going to keep Nick. Nick. Yeah, like you said, they're going to keep Nick. So, but Nick has got to come up with a plan. And I heard they've been talking to Frank Wright. And hopefully they'll get another veteran defensive coordinator here, and we'll just roll. See what happens. See what happens this offseason, and see what happens next season. That's all.
Yeah. But the scary part is, and Hev said it, and he admitted he didn't have a solution, Nick. And I'm going to get into this too. My feelings on Howie. Do I think it's all on Howie? No, I don't think it's all on Howie, but I do think that Howie tends to get a free pass on this. He's the one who made the decision to bring Bradbury back, not to sign C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's the one that made the decision to get rid of 2 linebackers and not bring them back. He's the one who made the decision to bring in Byard and Leonard, who were missing tackles left and right and who couldn't even crack the starting lineup. He's the one who lost the depth and decided to pay Jalen all that money up front. So, Howie bears some of this responsibility, but from what they're saying, Howie is not going to leave until Jeffrey Lurie leaves. So we're stuck with Howie.
Yeah. That's the way it's going. I mean, that's the way it has been. I mean, it has been back with Andy Reid and stuff. I mean, Yeah, man, I agree with that.
Yeah,
Howie can do no wrong, but the interesting part is the Eagles, when everything went down, like right after Andy Reid left, they said will remain with the team, but he will never be the GM again. He's just going to deal with contracts and stuff. And that's when they brought in the guy who's with the Jets now, and he
mhm.
won that Super Bowl. And then Howie all of a sudden went back to being GM again, and this is when things go downhill. They will not get back to where they need to be because Howie will not bring in the talent. Yes, the coaching is going to help. Don't get me wrong. But these coaches are going to have to get more out of the talent they have because Howie doesn't know how to draft or bring in the right talent. And the coaches are going to have to put them in the right positions. I'm sounding like Andy Reid now. Put in the right positions to win.
Well,
But it's the truth, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
there's so much to talk
Mm-hmm.
about, all the different angle problems that the Eagles have. I mean, we talking about the coaching, and then the players, and then I've been
Mm-hmm.
watching a lot of different things and seeing how the players are supposed to be held accountable. That is correct. That is true. But when you also players, and it's a fundamental thing I saw yesterday actually, and they said it on this thing. I think it was Troy Aikman. It's like you still need a coaching leadership because that's what they're looking for. Like they want, how can I play better, coach? What I need to do better, coach? And Philadelphia did not have that at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that what Jermaine said, the inexperience of these coaches being 35 years old and 30 years old and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
So I hope for to fix it, we bring in some experienced coordinators, Frazier is out there for defensive coordinator, so it'd
Yeah.
be cool to get him to help.
Staley.
Um, do all right. I'm sorry, Staley,
Mm-hmm.
as well. So to me, when we say, yeah, the players quit. Well, they had a reason to quit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, especially on defense. I mean, when you fire the defensive coordinator, then you bring Matt Patricia in because they made a good point on the radio. When they did that, it really went south with
It
that
did.
defense.
That's
It
true.
really because when you
Mm-hmm.
sit up here, it's like okay, now all of a sudden you're changing something in the middle of the season. You know what I mean? And it's like you bring in Matt Patricia. Now all of a sudden, you got to understand his philosophy and all that stuff. That's when it really went down. It really went downhill. So it's like it's crazy.
100%. And, with that being said, Hef's right. Yeah, there was a reason why Shaq Leonard was available, guys. And you saw the tape and how he was missing tackles and things like that. Bayer, there was a reason why he was available. He didn't do much either,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you saw the offensive line. I mean, you're relying on Fletcher Cox to get pressure and to get sacks. I mean, come on, this defensive line's got to step it up. Jordan Davis, maybe he lost everything on that one run. He was going 20 miles an hour. I don't know, but he couldn't get anything going. So they have their hands full. With that being said, though, what are their goals for next year? I mean, what would make them keep Nick? Is it Super Bowl or bust? Like if Nick doesn't get to the Super Bowl, is he gone? Is it if he gets to
Well,
the playoffs, does he stay? Like, what do we do next year?
well, go back. Let's go back to the defensive. Let's go back to the defensive pressure. And you talk about
Mhm,
blaming it on Fletcher Cox.
mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
so there's a big difference. You know what I mean between last year and this year. You lost depth. You
Yep.
lost depth from last year. That's why they had a nasty rotation to where they was just getting pressure left and right. Now you're depending on the front four, and those front four. I mean, the snaps. I mean, if somebody could pull up the snaps of what that defensive line got, and you really didn't have a rotation, they was gassed, man. They was
Mhm.
gassed after the seventh or eighth game. It was a done deal.
Right.
So my thing is, so going forward with that defense, you're not going to get that depth again. You're not. I
Nope.
mean, that was something really unusual. Out of the all 32 teams that had that much deep depth that we had last year compared to this year, we didn't have no depth.
Yeah.
And that's what
Mhm.
everything was. We was gassed. We was just gassed.
Mhm.
Jalen Carter. You expect Jalen Carter to play 18 games, and then what? Versus college, what? He only plays what? 12, 11, something
Mhm.
like that. So yeah, you knew that it was going to get gassed. Jordan Davis. Ooh, yeah. I mean, Sal. I mean,
Mhm.
Mm,
I'm starting to get on you. I'm starting to be with you. I don't know. I have no
I,
idea.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean,
I think
they're
Jordan.
finding.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jermaine.
No,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead, Dre. No,
No, no.
you got it.
I see what you guys going with Jordan Davis, but in his defense, it's coaching. You know,
Uh,
when the front four were getting double teamed and those A gaps and whatnot, Jordan Davis is supposed to fill in that side. But when that happens and then the running back comes around, he has nowhere to know where that guy's going because the front line are not doing their job. You know what I'm saying? So it's
but
like you can't really blame that all on Jordan Davis because he hasn't experienced. He's only his second year, right?
Well,
Second
yeah,
you're
year.
but
dropping your best pass rushing linebacker into coverage. You're right, Dre.
well
You're not
then
going to get that pressure.
It's not all
Yeah.
Jordan Davis on that.
it
Mhm.
is. I mean, it's a
I'm
lot
saying
on.
not all. I'm not saying
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
yeah.
it
I'm not.
is
Mhm.
because Jordan Davis is out of shape. They said they've been finding Jordan Davis for being overweight. You know what I mean? As far as practicing and all that stuff, I don't know if the I don't know if the work ethic is there with
Gotcha.
Jordan Davis. I mean,
Yeah.
it remains to be seen. But at the same time, Jordan Davis is not a 4 down lineman. He's not.
No, he's
Correct.
You
not.
know what I mean?
He's
He's
not.
not a 4 down lineman.
No.
He's supposed to be a run stuffer. So this man is three plus 300
Yeah.
plus
He's a
pounds
monster.
and whatnot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So the double teams, yes, you supposed to take on those double teams, but then the other linemen and the linebackers are supposed to step up because if Jordan Davis is taking on 2 men, possibly 3 men and all that stuff, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. You know what I mean? But like I said, the rotation, but yeah, you know, the rotation, we didn't have no rotation this year. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
Josh Sweat. And then now all of a sudden, why did you get rid of Derek Barnett? That's a rotational player. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And he seemed like he was doing well when he went to Houston.
Right.
You know
They
what I mean? So
Yep.
they also lost a linebacker too that Howie let go that he shouldn't have let go. That was
Edwards.
going to be
Edwards.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but then there was a young guy that they had just drafted, and he got picked up by another team off the practice squad. I forget his name. So how
Yeah.
much of that is on Howie though, Jermaine? Like not bringing in that depth and that talent, right?
I think their philosophy is based on offense. Okay, you bring a mediocre
Mhm.
defense. Yes, last year was something phenomenal. You know what I mean? You sign these
Mhm.
players to 1 year contracts, and then you know Edwards had a 1 year remaining and all that stuff. Okay, you do that. You know what I mean? But I think their philosophy, Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman, his philosophy is built on offense. They beefed. You know, they gave Jalen that money. You had this potent offense, you know what I mean, and Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and Dallas Goddard and all that stuff, but
Mhm.
it backfired it backfired in their face. You know what I mean? It backfired in Howie's face. You
Yeah.
know?
So Sal, to answer your question, what the goal is
Mhm.
next year, it's
Mhm.
actually first confidence, more than anything. Like you got to bring
Mhm.
back that locker room to be known that hey man, we can do this and stuff. And then two, I think the wins, I'm maybe 10 wins, 11 wins will keep him. I can't say yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. I can't say we're going to be NFC champions or the East championships. It's more about just getting the fundamentals back in place and put the stones back together, forming a foundation, build on top of that, and see where Nick is. If he's not there with that next year, then yeah, cut him.
Well, see,
Wow.
but see, Dre, go back to what you're saying. The
The
foundation,
foundation. Yeah.
the foundation is that I agree with Sal now because Howie was in that run down mode when you're signing all these veterans and when you're doing all these 1 year contracts. Howie does not know how to build knows how to build a team.
Nope.
And Sal is right. He doesn't know how to build a team through the draft. He'll
Right.
get these mediocre guys, you know what I mean? And N'Kobe Dean is on that list now
Mm.
because, pretty much all these Georgia players that we drafted, I don't know. They might be mediocre. Now, the jury might be out. That's what I'm saying to give them let's see what happens in the off season. But the foundation starts. If you want to build an empire, if you want to build a team, you got to be smart and you got to be savvy in the draft. Howie has not really done that. He hasn't. He
Yeah.
hasn't. He'll plug and play. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. It's a great
And
way to
then
put it.
yep,
Mhm.
and then what happens? And then what happens? It backfired in our face last year because we
Yeah.
thought he had a Super Bowl team and we thought we was going to win
Mhm.
it. We lost by 3. Now this year it blew up in our face. Bottom
Yeah.
line. Bottom line.
Yeah.
You know?
And Howie does never put emphasis on the linebacker. He doesn't value the position. You got Jeremiah Trotter Jr. out there this year. You could
Yup.
get him in. I think if anything, last night the San Francisco game showed you how valuable linebackers are, right?
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
point.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
you
Yeah.
got Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, who I can't, how I feel about Dre Greenlaw, but
He was funny last night. He did this again.
Yeah.
He was funny.
yeah, I was giving Mike the business about Dre Greenlaw, but hey, the guy came to play last night. I will give him credit. Maybe
Yeah.
Big Dom fired him up. I don't know, but needless to say, so you're right, Jermaine. You said it perfect. Howie doesn't know how to build that team. It's plug and play. And that's been my issue with him all along. He brings in these guys. Now you got Slay. Slay is 33 years old. What are you going to do with him when he starts losing his steps? Are you going to be turned like Bradbury now next year? I mean,
Well,
where are you
yeah.
going to go?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You got issues
Toast.
at that. You got issues at that cornerback now. You know what I mean? That's the bottom line. You got issues at the cornerback, and definitely you got issues at linebacker. But going back what you said, Sal, I mean, I understand how he did as far as plug and play and getting to the Super Bowl, with talent. And it's a 50-50. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Would you take that 50-50 as far as the plug and play and winning the Super Bowl, or just starting from or just starting and, like you said, setting that foundation? I mean, what would you take?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go to the Super Bowl, it's like, how are you going to build it, right? Like they got lightning in a bottle with Doug Peterson, and they won it with Nick Foles.
Yeah,
And then he tried to fill it with.
It's a fine line. It's a fine line. What would you want in Super Bowl?
To me, I would say if we had a Doug Peterson, you go for the Super Bowl. You got Nick Sirianni, you build a foundation because he is inexperienced. He is.
Yeah.
Did they make a mistake getting rid of Doug? Did they make a mistake getting rid of Doug?
I think so. I think so.
I mean, because they get these like these coaches like, what? Who? I mean, just like Andy Reid. It's like Andy Reid's like, where the hell did he come from? You know what I mean? Before he started building his, building his legacy,
coaching tree. Yeah.
Yeah. Nick Sirianni. Oh, who the hell is that? You know what I mean? Or even, now at least Doug Peterson had some type of pedigree. He came from Andy Reid's tree and whatnot. But go back before Andy Reid. I mean, when Jeffrey Lurie took over this team and whatnot, you didn't have a pedigree coach. You didn't. You had the Rich Coach Heights. You had the who? I forgot, Ray Rose.
Ray Rose.
You know what I mean? You
Chip
didn't
Kelly?
have a pedigree. Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly. I mean, think about it. I mean, we always clown Dallas that Dallas will never win a Super Bowl as long as Jerry has his hand in the cookie jar. I mean, we're pretty much in the same line as Dallas.
We are. We are actually.
Because Bill Belichick, because they said the rumor was that Bill Belichick, the Eagles was on Bill Belichick was on the Eagles list. Bill Belichick didn't want to have nothing to do with this. He didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Same thing with Dallas. Don't want to have nothing to do with it because the owners and the general manager and whatever has their hand in the cookie jar.
That's right.
Why are you hiring these coaches? Because they can't, because you hired them to coach. You're not hiring the coach. Oh, you're like, oh yeah, put a puppet in the place and that's it. You know what I mean?
That's what they want.
Yeah,
you're exactly right, Jermaine.
You're right, Jermaine. 100 that, man. Not 99. 100.
Yeah.
Hev says Nick is an airhead. Oh, so, speaking of 99, 100%, let's talk about the real deal. Does he want to come back here after what happened this year? I mean, he just seems like he really lost his mojo to stay here.
You're going to see, again, like I said, that's going to be one of the off-season question marks. You're going to see what the heck is going to happen, Sal and Dre.
Yeah,
you're going to see,
that's true.
You're going to see what's on. And I tried to tell Dre, I said, because we was talking about, we brought up T.O. and all that stuff, with the sit-ups, you know what I mean? How he got put, in the driveway and all that stuff. So, and I said, well, that's almost similar to what AJ's doing when he deleted his Twitter account. So, I mean, I don't know. It remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen.
I remember Dre and I got into about that. I'm like, is he the next T.O.?
I know. We talked.
It remains to be seen on that. But one good thing is that you could take Devontae Smith and remember where he came from. He was already polished when he came in.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? You had players that were basically well coached in college and come over, and I see Devontae Smith as that. You know what I mean? With the thing with AJ Brown, Tennessee said, "Oh, locker room, this mental illness or whatever they were talking about." I don't know, but it's yeah, you're right, Sal. What's going to happen with that?
Yeah.
Same thing how the players think today. What Dallas Goddard was saying and stuff, and daggone, Jalen Hurts, we weren't committed enough. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
You mean you weren't committed enough?
Yeah, Dre, you brought up a good point too. Like, are these players developing, right? Like, are you seeing these guys like getting better? Like Donovan went backwards this year, right? So where do you
Donovan
draw
went
that
backwards?
line?
You
I'm
mean
not
Hurts?
sorry, Hurts,
I was
Jalen.
like, Donovan.
Donovan. I was like, Donovan's playing?
They're the same thing. I said they're the same thing. But no, Jalen regressed this year. I think, and AJ, he was starting in the beginning of the year, it looked like he was lights out, and then all of a sudden he regressed as the season went on. And
from the first game in New England, and I was watching how Jalen Hurts, and I said, "Wait, guys, something's wrong here." Like I don't understand what he's doing, and that was totally different from last year. And then he has to get adjustments and stuff, and on top of that, his own awareness of everything. But yeah, you're right, man. I mean, that's why I keep going back. It's the coaching.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I say, okay, you had the good Jalen last year, and you had the what the hell's going on with Jalen this year? That's why I'm saying it's like, okay, let's see what happens in the offseason. Let's see what happens this season, and if you see a 180 turnaround, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if that Jalen comes back and he's looking dumbfounded and he's looking loopy and all that stuff, I mean, people are saying that Jalen was nursing an injury. Jalen was nursing an injury the whole season. I don't think he was right since the beginning of the season. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that would have to do a lot of effect. But like I said, it's something that remains to be seen. Now, if the same product is going out this year, coming up with this coming up season and whatnot, then yeah, I mean, we got problems. We got problems.
Well, a lot of people have brought a lot of people. I mean, saying like Eagles fans and even Seth Joyner. We're talking about where's Jalen Hurts, just sitting there motionless, not really. You're looking for a quarterback to say, talk. You're a leader and stuff and so on. And locker room's been talking about. Seth Joyner's been saying that they're talking about it. Like, where is it?
I know it's no excuse, and I go back to his age. That's all. I go back to his age. You got a lot. I mean, Dre, let's just think about it. You're an athlete, right? I mean, and say if you're not the age that you are right now, you're 24, 25 and whatnot. You know what I mean? And I know you've been in the league for you get all this money, 200. Your mindset is going to change. Your mindset, the pressure. The pressure and everything is going to be it's going to be on you. Yeah. Now everybody's looking at you, and then on top of that, you're dealing with the media, because Philadelphia media is just as bad as New York media. It's bad. It brings out either the best in you or the worst in you. You know what I mean? Now, if you put Jalen in like a Carolina, or if you put Jalen in one of those subpar media things, you probably wouldn't have this problem. But there's a lot of pressure and something that he's got to process in the off season. It's like, okay, you know what I mean? This is what I have to do. Well, man, if you slap me $250 million and all that stuff, one, you ain't going to tell me, you can't tell me nothing. I don't care if you talk about my demeanor and all that stuff. I got $250 million. You know what I mean? And I'm young and I don't, I don't care right now. You know what I mean?
I said, and I said all along, there's a reason why Tennessee wanted to get rid of AJ Brown, because they wouldn't have traded him that quickly and easily.
That's true. Yeah.
Let's bring in. Do we have him? Is Mike with us? Mike's with us. Let's bring the 49er in. That's it, because I know he's smiling. He's like a Cheshire cat over there. Here he goes, man. Look at that.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Boo!
Yeah. Being on the podcast actually is not a good sign right now. That means we just got a butt kicked in pool, man. So
wow.
Man. It got
I need a
real
drink.
Quick.
I like that. You need a drink. Need a drink from last night and a drink this morning. So.
Man.
Yeah.
What's going on, Mike? How you feeling about that San Fran game, man?
Oh man, it felt like those games like last year and the year before when the
Yeah.
playoff games were tight, man.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm glad they won. I'm glad they was able to pull it out. To win one of those close games. That's what's happened this year. Is they haven't won close games. They've always lost those, fourth quarter try to come back games. So it's good for building character and all, but that's a lot of luck, man. I don't care what anybody says. It should have been a pick six. I mean,
Woo.
just
Yeah.
some of those plays, like on that last drive when he threw the ball and IU basically had to catch the ball off the ground, man.
Right.
I was just kind of like, all right, it felt like it was one of them meant to be kind of games. Just everything kind of kept working out that shouldn't worked out, but it did. Yeah. Where Brock ran that like 11-yard play at the end where he scrambled, I was like, all right, this is just they're feeling it now. They're gonna punch this in, and then of course Sal's favorite player Greenlaw with that interception at the end.
I was cracking up. Will
And
you go down?
oh my God, I was yelling so loud on both interceptions. I was like, go down, go down, go down. I was like, man, because he's holding the
Mhm.
ball like this, running around like a loaf of bread. I'm like, what are you doing? And I was like, man, he gonna fumble and then they gonna score something stupid. I was so mad, man, when he got tackled. But everybody they interviewed after the game, all the 49ers players, like Fred Warner was like, man, I don't know what he was thinking. He was like, I told him to get down. Drake Elon was like, well, Fred, you told me to get a pick six, so I was trying to get pick six. And he's like, yeah, but not then.
So so is it gonna be enough to beat that Baltimore team? Because they're looking pretty damn good.
Mm.
I mean, you gotta get past Detroit first, which I feel confident about them beating
Mhm.
Detroit or Tampa, but you gotta play the game first. Baltimore looks good, man. I mean,
They do.
Baltimore. If they
They
beat
do.
Baltimore in the Super Bowl, they get there. It's gonna be another one of those. I don't know how they're gonna do it. If they do it, great.
Mhm.
But I don't know how. I can't tell you. Maybe Shanahan can tell you. But Baltimore looks real solid right now. They were a little sluggish early, but then they really poured it on Tennessee at the end. I mean, Texans at the end, and the Texans had no answer.
Yeah.
So Hef
Yeah.
wants to know, Mike, are you nervous at all about the game last night? Or were you nervous?
I was no, I'm not nervous. I actually feel
Mhm.
better about the matchups they got for the next whoever wins today. Green Bay is just
It's an easy way. That's why I just said it, Mike, before you got on. It's an easy way to the Super Bowl. I like that was San Fran. That was San Fran's NFC Championship, Mike. That's the only thing I'm saying. Come
And
on,
not only
dude.
it
Come
that, the
felt
way
on.
like
it's playing out, Mike, the way it's
they got
playing out,
history,
and
and
the way it's
that
playing out, Mike, Detroit's got to prove you wrong. That's what they got
yeah,
to do.
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah, and
ain't
Detroit
gonna,
got to
ain't
go to
gonna.
San Francisco, and
I
hopefully
know.
better.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
but how we were talking about Detroit's defense, because Mike is like saying, look, Detroit's defense is not there. Well, now he's playing 49. Let's see what happens.
yeah,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. No,
but
the
one
weather's
quick
supposed to
question,
get better.
one quick
Yeah, go ahead.
question, Mike, and I was trying to bring it up in our text. Coaches going for it. It was 3-0 in the first quarter. Green Bay was charging. They got to the San Francisco's like I think 5, 8 yard, 10 yard line, somewhere around there. They went for it on 4th and 1.
Uh-huh.
Why didn't they kick the field goal? There was no reason not to kick the field goal and go up 6-0. And then I
I,
think the
I,
whole change of the game would have been different, in my opinion.
oh
Mm.
yeah, I think that's just in some ways that's just where you have a little bit of playoff luck. Where a guy makes the decision that's just not the right decision, and even then, I thought the spot, it was kind of a bad spot, but I will take it.
Right,
Um,
right.
yeah, that was just. I would have ran the ball. I think they tried to sneak it on that one, and I would have gave the ball Aaron Jones. It seemed like it was unstoppable. Um, but yeah, I mean, those are decisions in the playoffs that if it goes wrong, it's going to bite you bad.
It bit
I mean,
him.
there are other opportunities. I mean, the guy missed the kick. That was big. Um,
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of. I mean, it was just playoff football. I don't know what to say. That's
Mhm.
kind of how it goes when you have two good teams battling it out like that. Mistakes here and there, can make the
Mhm.
difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this your best shot, Mike? Because San Fran's going to probably lose some coordinators like the Eagles did. They got some contracts they got to renew. Is this like their last chance? Are they going all in here, or is there still some hope down the line?
Um, Brock Purdy is going to continue to be Brock Purdy or better, then I think there's definitely hope. If you got a good quarterback, then you can always build around that and get back to being in contention. Um, they actually might not have too much turnover if they are going to be on the back end. Like I think Steve Wilson is going to stay, and then Shanahan's the offensive coordinator, so he's not going anywhere. So it's going to be the other guys, the assistant coaches, the Brian Griese's the quarterback coach, or the offensive line coach or defensive line coaches. Those guys have been looking at opportunities here and there, but I think they're going to mostly keep everything intact. It's just guys are getting older. This is kind of that, yeah, you need to do it, else you're gonna start feeling like Dallas in a way, like, man, it just never gonna happen kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of their better shots. But hey, they've been in the championship game 3 out of the last 4 years, so they've been doing something pretty good.
Are you done with Debo now, Mr. Injury? Are you done with him?
Man, um, I don't know. We'll see. I was
Love
I
hate,
was
ain't it?
frustrated with it. It's frustrating, man, because
Yeah.
he's such a great player, but dang, he gets hurt so easy. It just
Yeah, the glass.
yeah, just man, I don't know what's wrong with him. It's like he had the head, then there was the shoulder, and then he's on street clothes, and but it was good to see other players step up when he was out. They
Jennings,
got
yeah.
Conley. I don't know where we got him from, but he had a big catch. Ray McLeod had a catch. Juan Jennings coming back was also really big. That guy, he's tough, man. I don't know if you saw that play where he blocked the guy out of Browns all the way to the Gatorade.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's how that's how he plays. Very physical, very tough-minded guy, and you like that. You got to have guys like that.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, let's get into some of these games this week. There's still 2 left to be played today. So the big one I want to talk about first, I guess we'll get Jermaine back in a second. We must have just lost him there for a minute. We got KC and Buffalo, guys. This is the first time Mahomes on the road in the playoffs, Playoffs? Yeah, he's on the road. So let's start with Dre. What do you think here? Is Buffalo going to do this thing and finally put KC out of their misery?
If the same Buffalo team shows up next week, yes. I mean, last week, yes. Buffalo, I mean, it was like a good mix of what, Josh Allen with his run ability, and then also the run game from the running back, and then getting that ball out there. I think it's going to be a more defensively game today. They're actually supposed to be getting more snow again, so those people will be right there on top of those snow seats again. So I'm gonna say yes. I think Kansas City Chiefs, yes, they have the experience in the playoffs, but yes, they're on the road. But that's not reason why I think they're going to lose today. I just think Buffalo has the advantage. I think by how they played last week, and of course Kansas City. We always know how their problems with the receivers, dropping the balls all season. I would have to expect a big game from Travis Kelce to really early. If you get Travis Kelce up on early, and then maybe Kansas City can, because you got Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. Yeah, you got Mahomes. So I'm taking Buffalo. I just think so.
Well, maybe you get a big game from Taylor Swift. Who knows? Mike, who you got? You got KC or Buffalo? Mahomes going to go down on the road?
I'm taking KC.
Okay.
I think the game's going to be kind of like last night's game, where it's going to come down to the final drive. A lot of ups and downs, high emotion type game. But I think Kansas City is going to find a way to pull it out. I just got that. Until you beat them, you gotta take them until you see them go down, kind of thing. So I'm taking Kansas City. I think Mahomes, it's going to pull some magic. This is how that guy is.
All right, Jermaine. Mahomes, your boy, on the road, first time. What he got?
Nah. Mike always like riding down with the ship, like the Titanic and all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's what he always does. Every time, man. Yeah, I know. Riding down with the ship. Yeah, he's the last one on the ship. You know what I mean? Before he hits the water and all that stuff. Come on, Mike. I don't think, Mahomes' first time on the road in his career and all that stuff. I think this is Buffalo's year. I think it's Buffalo year.
Mhm.
It's going to be Buffalo and Baltimore in the NFC and the AFC Championship. So yeah, I'm looking for Buffalo. Buffalo's finally getting it. Buffalo is running the ball, not putting it all on Josh Allen.
Right.
Now Josh Allen, I was telling Dre the other day, Josh Allen has fresh legs. He looks like the Josh Allen, you know what I mean, like when he first came in here. So you're not relying on Josh Allen. I think they're going to run the ball. They're going to control the clock. Yeah, I think Buffalo's going to win. I think Buffalo's going to win it, and send Andy Reid looking his wounds and figuring out that you do need a bona fide receiver up in here, for Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes can't do it all. I'm sorry. I know he's a magic man, but I think he just can't do it all. So
Yeah, and Hef says this is the Bills' chance to go. I agree. If they don't
yeah,
win it all
Yeah, I
this year,
do
they
too.
never will.
Yep.
I think, yeah, I agree, Jermaine. I think Buffalo is going to have too much offense for Kansas City's defense.
yeah.
And I do think that Kansas City's is going to get shut down on offense. It'd be just enough for Buffalo's defense to shut them down and get Allen can just get enough points to get by. I agree with Mike, though. I do think it's going to be close, probably similar to last night where it's going to be back and forth. But I just think that Buffalo is going to have too much in the end.
Well, I'm gonna tell you who the X
Yeah.
factor is, Sal. I mean, and
Mhm.
we're forgetting about this man. We are forgetting about this man. He's going to be the X factor today. And the last few games he hasn't really shown up. But watch out for Stephon Diggs today, boy, fellas.
Yeah.
Watch out for Stephon Diggs. Yeah,
He had
I mean,
two
Dre
good
called it.
he had two good plays last week, and I was like, there it is. He's
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
two big factors. So
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
yep,
I expect
Okay.
a huge game from him.
yeah,
Also Davis too.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, let's shift to the NFC side. We got Tampa Bay and Detroit. Baker Mayfield is fired up, lit up the
Listen,
Eagles defense for 33 points. Honestly, I think, my niece could have lit up the
Oh, exactly.
the Eagles
listen,
defense for the
Yeah,
Super
listen.
Bowl.
yeah,
But
exactly.
The only thing I see Tampa having, because I don't really know, and you guys help me correct me if Goff handles pressure well, the 80% of blitzing that Tampa Bay does.
I don't think so. I have to see the stats, but I don't think so because he's not really a mobile quarterback. So I mean, I think that's probably going to be Tampa's strategy is to try to heat him up. Just send bodies. Try to get
Right.
there as fast as
Mhm.
possible before it's into bad decisions.
And
Um,
that's why they're gonna run the ball. That's why they're gonna
yeah,
run it.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, yeah, Mike. You look at it last week. You look at it last week. I mean, we didn't run the ball. I mean, if you run the ball, I think you're gonna go places. But yeah, they're gonna run the
oh
ball
yeah.
with Gibbs and Montgomery. Yeah, they're not gonna put it in Goff's hands.
nah. And Bowles, the best way to beat the blitz, run the ball.
Run the ball.
So run the
Run the
Yeah,
ball.
ball.
So
yeah.
it's coming.
Yeah.
So
I'm taking Detroit, just a mere fact. I mean, I can't just
mm,
Tampa. Come on, I'm
yeah,
taking Detroit.
I know Bowles is a good coach. Anybody think Tampa Bay's pulling this out?
Hell
No,
no,
No?
I just
not
think
with these.
Tampa Bay might make it a little interesting, only because
Mm,
of Detroit's defense and how porous they are, and that Baker is definitely a explosive play kind of person. It's kind of boom or bust with them, so he will push it to those receivers, and he doesn't get a lot of pressure on them. That is one thing that Tampa Bay has done pretty good is they protected the quarterback. I mean, the Eagles got a couple sacks on him, but for the most part he really didn't get heated up a lot, and so that gave
Right.
him
Yeah.
opportunities to move the ball around. So Baker will throw the ball, and I don't like C.J. Gardner Johnson. I think the guy's all talk. I think that whole secondary that Detroit has is all talk, and I think if Tampa can get some explosive plays with the receivers and get some points, I think that's going to put some pressure on Detroit, and that's going to put the game back in the Golf's hands, and that's what you want. You really want to make Golf have to beat you. So I think Tampa is going to find a way to make it interesting. But yeah, I'm going to pick Detroit. I think they're just I think they're just a better team.
Yeah, I think overall, I think we all got Detroit on that one. So, all right, cool. Well, with that being said, guys, which team is left that you would like to see win the Super Bowl at this point? I mean, we didn't really talk about that too much last week when there were more teams in, but teams that I guess some people love to hate. I know who I don't want to see in the Super Bowl, and that's freaking Drake Greenlaw. But that's a personal thing more than a. But I think for me, honestly, I really was hoping Green Bay would go. I thought Green Bay really just improved so much. I really wanted to see them go a little further, but um, yeah, who's left that I'd like to see at this point? Maybe Detroit. Maybe it's their time. I mean, they've been out what 40 years, however long it's been, 30 years that they haven't won a playoff game. But I think out of all of them left, it'd be a nice story to get Detroit in there. They might not be the best team, but they might not actually get in there. But it might be a nice story to get them there. I don't know.
I'm
Dre.
actually taking Baltimore Ravens.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been on Lamar Jackson for like 4 years, and his 1-4 playoffs, record. He's definitely proven that he wants to get it this year and prove everybody wrong, including myself. Yeah, including myself, because I was on him all the time about his inexperience, his accuracy in throwing and stuff. But Baltimore, I would like to see Baltimore. I actually like to see Baltimore and San Fran again, and maybe this might be John Harbaugh ring against. Well, he's not playing his brother this time, but I'm just saying though, man.
It's between the brothers.
And I like San Fran. Yeah, and the NFC, I like San Fran. Yeah, the whole Green Bay and Detroit. It's just Detroit. Green Bay is not there yet. We can see that in experience with Jordan Love. Detroit, yeah, you're right. They finally unlocked the playoff drought and all that. But I would say who will surprise me would be I can't say surprise me, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Kansas City Chiefs actually go all the way again.
Oh no, don't say that.
I'm sorry because until
they're out of it,
right? Until they're out of it, you can't say Kansas City can't be there.
So, yeah,
you got to beat Kansas City in the refs.
Yeah.
It's two teams. You're playing against two teams.
Hef wants to see the Buccaneers win. So, Mike, who you got? And then we'll get to Jermaine.
Well, I picked Niners Ravens at the beginning of the season, so that's what I still think how it's going to wind out. The only thing I don't like about that matchup is that most people are going to want Lamar to win. It's kind of like when they played the Chiefs and everyone really want Mahomes to win more than the Niners and Shanahan win. So that's the reason I don't want that matchup, because I really want people to be like, all right, we want San Fran to win and not root for the other guys. So that's why I like to see like the Chiefs getting, because everyone's like, all right, we're done with the Chiefs. They always get in the Super Bowl. Let's watch them lose. So they'll root for the 49ers. If Buffalo gets in, everyone's going to root Buffalo because Buffalo lost 4 Super Bowls. So there's always that kind of thing that works against you. But I think it's Niners Ravens. I think that's the matchup. Sal, when I posed this question about what team you should not want to see it, that was really intended. I think everyone was going to say the Cowboys. It was like, that's the team you don't want
that
in
too.
the Super Bowl whatsoever. That would everyone would turn off the TV if that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be Niners and Ravens. It could be Niners Chiefs. Between I think that's a possibility. Another rematch. Hopefully Shanahan gets the monkey off his back. I mean, this is, to me, I think he's a Hall of Fame coach. I mean, I think a lot of what he's done, and then the guys that off his tree, like you saw the game last night with LaFleur. He's a Shanahan guy. Coaching tree, and you've seen that, and so I think. He's got the credentials, but the one thing he doesn't have is that Super Bowl win. It's just get that monkey off your back. I feel like it's either his time or Lamar's time. It feels like the script is kind of written that way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, Jermaine, I feel like I need a Dramamine, man. You keep it up over there. I'm getting like seasick. What the hell are you doing over there?
I can't find my key. I can't find my key fob. I'm looking for it. I mean,
you don't have to hold your phone in the hand while you're trying to find it.
Yeah, and it's one. Yeah. So the car starts, so it's got to be around here somewhere. I can't find my wallet.
Is it in your pocket?
No, I looked for I looked in there, so I don't know.
Obviously,
where the
you
heck
drove there, so
yeah, I know. I got here. Yeah, so I don't know where the heck it's at. Yeah, my bad. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, guys, I kind of want to bring up the coaching thing. So, I wrote down.
Hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
my fault. I didn't know you picked. My bad.
Yeah, see, man. All right, relax.
Find your keys, man. You drove there. You don't even know how you got there.
Anybody
Yeah,
possible.
yeah. All right. No, but no, I think I'm rooting for Buffalo. I'm rooting for Buffalo.
Okay.
I mean, I think they finally get it. I mean, if you just look at the last few weeks or when they fired their offensive coordinator and all that stuff, now they got James Cook involved. They're running the ball. I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, I would like to see Buffalo and Baltimore in the AFC Championship.
Alright.
And rooting for Buffalo, yeah, rooting for Buffalo to get to the Super Bowl. So, all right,
Okay.
go ahead, Dre.
Yeah, it was his motion sickness that Dre got a second ago. That was what threw him off.
No, I
Yeah.
just I always ignore him. Let me keep going. So we have Seattle Seahawks, Tennessee Titans, the Washington Commanders, Atlanta Falcons, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Carolina Panthers. All are have open seats for head coaches. Now, the two coaches I want to bring up is Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel. Where do you guys think first Mike Vrabel is going to go? Out of those teams I listed,
Eagles.
well, Sirianni's already got his. He's staying. So.
I think probably the Chargers.
Why the Chargers?
I think it's the type of team that he wants to coach that is on the verge. I think Vrabel can make a quick impact with them. It's not a team he's got to build up from scratch. They got the players in place already. They got the quarterback in place. They got the receivers. They're almost done. Like they're almost to the point where they're Super Bowl or bust with the players they got. Their window's closing. So if they're looking for a quick way, Vrabel's the guy.
Okay.
I'm saying,
Yeah, I think the Chargers. Go ahead, Jermaine.
no, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think the Chargers are still going after Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about
I think
I forgot about Jim Harbaugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going to get Harbaugh. Vrabel, I don't know, man. He might not coach. I gotta be honest.
Wow.
He might not coach anybody.
If he doesn't, then the Eagles better pick him up as a coordinator.
I was
He might not do that
thinking.
either.
I
He
was
might just
thinking
like
Mike
take a
Vrabel.
year off.
I was thinking Mike Vrabel being in the Falcons because you got that nice rookie running back, right?
Belichick,
Really,
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, they're. I think they're sold on Belichick.
They're
I
sold on
think he's
Belichick.
impressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jermaine gets himself together.
And then the Raiders are taking Antonio Pierce. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
no, they signed him.
Yeah, they signed him.
Okay.
They signed him. And New England signed Gerard Mayo. So
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. Yeah, Gerard Mayo. I think
You got
Vrabel.
Commanders.
The command. Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I forgot about the Commanders. Yeah.
But I don't think he's the fit for Commanders, though. I think they're really looking at someone who's got more of an offensive kind of background, like the guy in Detroit. I think they're really looking at him, and I don't think anybody wants the Carolina job. I don't think Matt Rabel would. I don't think he's going to put himself in that position to be that with that team. That's just a train wreck. I don't know. I think Rabel might sit it out, not even be a coordinator. Just be like, I'm just going to wait a year, wait for a better opportunity.
I think that Brian Johnson could go to Carolina.
Oh, look, you know what that's all about, Sal. You know what that's all about. They had to get that Rooney Rule out of the cover. Come on, man. I mean, who's going to hire Brian Johnson as a head coach? Come on,
Carolina, because nobody else would want to go there.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I know.
They might really do that too. They might have no choice. Nobody wants to play for that crazy owner. Someone drinks on people. I mean,
so what? You think Belichick will take the Seahawks?
No, Belichick's going to take Falcons, and that's just crazy.
That's what I was thinking.
That's crazy to see.
Yeah.
That is crazy to see. You know what I mean? So,
Commanders hire Ben Johnson.
Yeah, have one's Ben Johnson.
Yeah, good luck, man.
Yeah,
but I see Vrabel. I see Vrabel going to Seattle. I see him going to Seattle. So
that could work.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah,
maybe he brings Russell Wilson back to Seattle,
or he brings yeah. Well, what the rumor is. He may bring Derrick Henry with him. Or then the rumor is Derrick Henry might be going to the Cowgirls. That's what the rumor is.
I heard that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That if he still got it, that would help the Cowgirls out a lot.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
that's the
Yes.
Mhm.
missing. That's one of the missing pieces. Is they
Yeah.
can't run the ball.
But you don't, yeah, but you don't run heavily with. But you still got Pollard because Pollard's not a three down back. But
Nope.
yeah, you use Derrick Henry, and then you have Pollard to, for the change of pace thing. But yeah, that'd
Yeah.
be scary.
You could use Derrick Henry as the center. He's more built like that.
Ah,
He's
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
any kind of cowbell definitely would help out
Mhm.
Dallas,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
overall, man, it's Dak, man. He gotta go.
Yeah,
yeah,
Zach.
When
We'll
when
find
you
out.
show that type of stress and tensity, like he literally tensed up and like I don't know what to do. That's not a
yeah,
quarterback, man.
yeah,
You don't do that and show that.
yeah.
He's not the answer. And yeah, Mike McCarthy with the 12 wins, blah blah blah. Okay, great history and all that, but I just don't think Dallas ain't going. It's the same old Dallas team next year too.
Here we
Long as Jerry
go.
Jones, yep, long as Jerry Jones has his hand in the cookie jar, you know what I mean? They're not going
Mhm.
anywhere. They're not
Nope.
going anywhere, you know.
Yeah. But at the same time, the Texans, they gotta build that team differently. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, Dak is definitely has his limits, and you can work around those limits. But it's just you got to get others to really step up and make plays. I thought they were too dependent on CeeDee Lamb this year.
yep,
Like, yeah, he stepped up and he is a playmaker, but you still got to have a second guy. And it seemed like in that playoff guy, no one in the game, no one else was really stepping up. And then he himself wasn't stepping up. He seemed like he mentally wasn't there for some reason.
yeah,
But once he checked out, no one else checked in.
yeah,
Ferguson, tight end, was all right, but he's not a big time playmaker. Um, so I think they need another better second receiver. I think they need a running back who can really, you know, take the load off of Dak, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah.
that defense. My buddy, Rob, my buddy Rob always said to me, he's a Cowboys fan. He's like, our defense is light. He's like, y'all
Mhm.
can push them around, and he's right. Every time you see the Cowboys when they play a physical team, man, they get pushed around. Even Michael Parsons gets swallowed up
what
and disappears out of games,
well, that's what I'm
and
saying. Yeah, Mike. I mean,
Mhm.
is Parsons
I was
starting
gonna
to get
say that.
exposed? Is he getting exposed or what? Or is he
Mhm.
what do you think? I think he's getting
I think
exposed.
I think he's getting exposed, and I think also it's just how that team's built. You got to have somebody. You got to have other players. I mean, these guys are great, but you got to have other players, and then that team, because of how they're built, where if they get behind, they can't really turn it back on. They have to play from front where they're rushing the passer and using their speed. But when they have to get physical, that's like when I watched that game last night with San Francisco, and even though they were getting gassed, I felt like they had a better chance of holding off Green Bay
Yeah,
versus how Dallas plays, where it's just kind of, dude, you're never going to stop the run. You
Exactly.
guys are just too
yeah.
light.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to get some big bodies in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got to have it, and they just don't have it. They got to build differently they got to build for the playoffs.
Hmm.
That's kind of the deal. They're built for the regular season. They're not built for the playoffs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to wrap up with the Eagles wish list because but I think Hef has a good question. But yeah, the Eagles wish list, man, you got Marcus Mariota gone, Fletcher Cox, Jason Kelsey, Shaq Leonard, Byard, Cunningham, Morrow. All these guys are going to be gone next year. And we'll get to that maybe next week and get back to that. But I like bringing up Hef's question here. Can you guys break down? This is really quick, guys. We'll just go around the horn. Can you guys break down what the Bears are going to do with the number one? Are they going to take Caleb and trade Fields to Atlanta for number 8? They also have number 9. Do you see Fields moving? What do you think, Dre?
I don't know yet. Go to the next person.
All right, Jermaine.
It's right. Okay. No, I think Field stays. I think Field stays since the coach is staying. I think Fields is going. I think Fields is going to stay. I mean, I think you give him. I mean, he's very talented. I mean, if you go for another quarterback in the draft, that means you're pretty much starting all over. You're still probably what, another year, maybe 2 years out again. No, just stick with the foundation. You got Fields. Yeah, stick. I think Fields is going to stay.
Mike?
Yeah, I think Fields is going to stay. I think they're going to just build up more around him and build up more on that defense. Um, I think that's the wise thing to do. Honestly, I don't think the quarterback's coming out of that great. I mean, they're great, but I don't think they're enough that you throw them in there all of a sudden you're going to be C.J. Stroud kind of thing.
No.
You know, yeah, I think they need to build around Fields, keep him. I'm not sure how much you pay him or extend it and all that kind of stuff, but I think you go another year with him, especially since they kept the coach. If they were going to start over a new quarterback, I think they would have got a new coach.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, it's
It,
it's interesting because like I view this as kind of like a potential like RG3 and Kirk Cousins situation.
I was about
They
to say
see
that.
they bring
You
in.
read my mind.
Go
yeah,
ahead,
It
Dre.
almost
yeah.
you read my mind when you said it, but I think when
Yeah.
Mike brought it with the Dallas thing about how CD or Dak has his limits, I think that Fields needs to have those pieces to help him out to make him really utilize his skills. So if they can bring those in there and stuff, I think Justin Fields going to be fine. I
Yeah,
think he knows.
and they're bringing in who did they get who did they look at for offensive coordinator? Man, I can't think of his name right now, but there is a guy, a college guy that they're bringing in as an OC,
Mhm.
and he was actually really good. So I
Mm.
think they're going to go with Fields. I think they're going to just revamp the offense with a better offensive coordinator, and see what they got.
You got to
Yeah.
find a running back. I mean, the running back situation. I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, if you,
Mhm.
Yeah,
you get a good veteran running back in there or whatever, that'll help a lot too, and maybe get like another wide receiver to offset DJ Moore. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll be back doing the Super Bowl shuffle before we know it. That you know.
yeah,
So all right, guys, as always, it's been good. Shout out to Have Streams Media and the All Dressed Up podcast. Hey, guess what? All Dressed Up is finally back tonight, 9 o'clock. Check them out, All Dressed Up podcast. No idea what they're going to talk about tonight. Probably about washing another body part. Who knows? But we'll find out soon enough. And shout out to the All Dressed Up podcast. And thanks, Hef, for always joining us. Shout out to everybody who follows us on social media. As always, we're on every Sunday at 11 a.m. You can check us out on YouTube, Twitter, where we stream live, or you could always email us enoughsaidcrew@gmail.com. We appreciate everybody who always checks us out online and watches our show. It is because of you that we can keep going. And guys, we got 2 games today, right? What, 2:15?
yeah,
And,
yeah,
it starts at Eastern time. And let's see what happens. The KC Buffalo is probably going to be the most interesting one, I think.
yeah. That's gonna be a good one. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
get
that's
your
gonna be.
get your popcorn ready.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I was, I would say with the All Dressed Up podcast, guys, I gotta say, man, my feelings are hurt that KD was on here last night saying, "Yeah, I'm gonna have a party at San Fran loses." I was like,
Oh.
"Oh man, my feelings are hurt, man." I was like, "I
Wow.
don't care how bad the Eagles are, I never gonna dance in y'all grave." I was just,
Speaking of grave, Mike, let's talk about Hargrave next week. Remind me because Hargrave disappointed me, man. That guy has been gone. What's going on with the grave digger, man?
he,
How we got it
he's
right?
he,
Yeah.
he quietly is doing the job. It's just you don't see splash plays, for the money.
Mm,
It reminds me of Jordan Davis. It's
yeah.
probably the equivalent I can think of. He's doing stuff, but it's just not big plays. So you don't hear anything. So you feel like the guy's not doing anything.
Mm,
But no, I mean, for the money he got, $98 million. I would have loved to see him get some sacks or do something. At least hear his name.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, no, that yeah, it hasn't really been a big splash. But
Yeah.
yeah, we talk about it. That's for sure.
All right, cool. All right, everybody. We'll catch you next week at 11 a.m. We'll have the championship games ready to go by then, and then we'll be heading towards the Super Bowl, guys. So
All
talk to
right,
y'all later,
everybody.
guys. See ya.
Talk